Hello. Welcome to what is, for the foreseeable future, probably my last Tarkov video, unless BSG changes their stance on this particular thing that I'm going to mention. Patch 0.14.6 just released today as I'm recording. And it actually says in the corner, I'm going to get out of the way. Actually, I should just be able to turn this off. Okay. So, down here you can see, this is what I'm going to be referring to. I'm not going to go over the patch notes, but this right here, PvE zone game mode unavailable. You need to purchase the Unheard edition. There you go. I'm going to make myself reappear. Hello. Now, some background. I've been playing this game for a little over a year. I purchased Edge of Darkness edition sometime early in 2023. Like, I think it was in March or February. I don't know if it says it on my profile somewhere. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. The point being is I purchased Edge of Darkness edition, and when I purchased Edge of Darkness edition, I purchased it for $150 US, and one of the features, or one of the perks for buying this edition, was that I would get all DLC that they would release with the game. Now, BSG / Nikita / whoever else behind the scenes, the Battlestate Games, if you don't know who BSG is, that's the developer of Escape from Tarkov. They have basically said that the PvE mode that is only available in the Unheard edition, which is $250. Now, for me, it's a $100 upgrade because they do take off what you already purchased from an edition. So since I paid $150, they take that off. I have to pay another $100. And that is ridiculous. I'm supposed to get free access to all DLC in this game since I gave them $150 for the Edge of Darkness edition. That is what I was promised, and they are not delivering on that. And there's a bunch of other stuff with this patch notes. Again, I'm not going all of them. I'm going over the main one. If you want to know the rest of the patch notes, you can easily find that. There's other people talking about that. I am talking about the point that everybody, at least my perspective, is probably going to give BSG the biggest headache, and as far as is a PR nightmare, because they are not giving people the offline PvE persistent progression mode that they have now enabled in the game. Essentially, if you have heard of solo player Tarkov, the mod, it's essentially that in the game, you know, minus different features that might be in the mod that isn't in the real game. I don't know all the differences. I've never played the mod. I don't plan on getting it because I don't plan on creating content for this game even through a mod anymore, unless they change their stance on this. And unless they change their stance and say, okay, we messed up, we're giving you the PvE mode, I'm not playing this game. I'm just not. I don't care about the rest of the edition. I kind of think it's, you know, it sucks that they release an edition that is more expensive than Edge of Darkness was. And not only that, but it's $100 more than Edge of Darkness, which is, they're getting towards ridiculous levels of asking price for a game. Just release DLC or some cosmetic stuff like they've already done. Like they've already done increased your stash size, kind of like a pay to win, but not the biggest deal. Fine, I don't care. Purchasing cosmetic stuff so you don't have to buy it from Ragman with rubles and stuff. Yeah, technically you can say pay to win because you can customize your character without having to spend in-game money. There's like a small I don't care about that. That's not game breaking. That's not DLC in my mind. Fine, do that stuff. Even the rest of it, I don't agree that they even have released the edition, but the edition with all the other perks behind it, I'm not going to go through the whole list, but again, increased stash size, they have some fence rep stuff, more slots on flea market, all that stuff. That's not where I draw the line. Where I draw the line is the PvE mode. I'm gonna show you once again. This PvE zone. I'll leave that for a second. And okay. I have Edge of Darkness and I can't do that. I can't access that, and I'm supposed to have free access to all DLC. No, that's a hard line. If you're not gonna give me what I paid for, I'm done. And unless they change, and unless I get access to that, I'm not playing this. I refuse. I absolutely refuse. Now, that's my personal stance. I want to make sure I remember to say this part. That's my personal stance. Anybody else that plays the game, streams the game, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with them. Don't bother anybody if you happen to see this and you're like, why don't you not stop playing the game until they release that because it's wrong? No, everybody has their own personal decisions they have to make on what they feel is right or wrong. Some people are in different positions. They can't just stop this or that and all that, whatever. I'm not worried about other people. I'm just saying for my own personal stance. I paid money and I paid for a product and I'm supposed to get with this product all future DLC, and they have paywalled off DLC behind, for me, a $100 paywall. For other people that might want this mode, that have never played or purchased this game before, it's behind a $250 US dollar paywall. There's different, currencies have different amounts that they're charging for. All I can say is I know the US amounts. So, the other amounts, you have to research what those are. But it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I will not stand by that. I have been having a good time with this game lately. It's been showing a lot of promise, and what they've obviously been gearing up for 1.0 release, and they've been making a lot of good changes. But I will not stand having this PvE game mode gated off behind a $100 paywall for me, more for other people. Like, even if you only have the standard game, it's a $200 paywall for you. What is wrong with you, Nikita? Seriously. What is going through your head? How does this make sense to you? If you wanted to kill Tarkov, I could think of no better way than pulling a stunt like this. Will it die because of this? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know the future, but I do know that if you wanted to give it a really good attempt at killing it, that's a good attempt. That's a really good attempt, because you have competition in the way of Gray Zone Warfare coming out really soon. A lot of people are aware of this game, and on the heels of that, you did this? You did this. You had the perfect opportunity to swoop in before Gray Zone Warfare comes out. You had the perfect opportunity to say, hey, they mentioned that they are going to have PvE servers. We already have Escape from Tarkov. We have an online mode. Let's just give people an offline progression mode. And if I made a video about this back when EFT was down on a different day some time ago, and I was confused on why they didn't like the solo player Tarkov mod, because that is the perfect way to get new players. People don't play this game. They don't start playing this game because it's too off-putting, because it's been out so long, and because they hear how difficult it is. If you gave people a way to play so that they could do so at their own pace, either support the mod or give people the offline mode. Now, granted, they put it in the game, but they put it behind a $250 paywall. Like, if someone's never played Tarkov before, that's what they have to pay for that. No way. No, who in their right mind is going to do that? Nobody. Practically nobody. You might have like one person who says, yeah, you can have $250. Like, you might have like literally 1-2 people. Everybody else, no way. And this could have been such an easy, this could have been the biggest win for Tarkov. You could have had your Unheard of edition. You could have done everything else in the edition. Just make the PvE mode available to everybody who owns the standard edition of the game. Just throw it in. Say, hey, if you want to play offline, go for it. We now have offline progression. Do you know how much of a win that would have been, even with this Unheard edition BS that you got going on? You could have done everything else there, have that at the price it's at. Although realistically, you probably shouldn't have that. You should do like, should have done like, you know, you could buy this if you want to or something, like separate stuff. Like Edge of Darkness should have been the most expensive edition. I don't know why they did this, other than for obvious greed reasons. But it's, and by the way, I've watched the I think it's called The Financials That Killed Tarkov. And just for a little background of myself, I have a bachelor's degree in accounting. So I watched the video, I took a peek at those financials, I understand what that person was talking about. As far as they bet big on Arena and they kind of lost that. And then the DLC stuff started to come out, like for Stash Space and stuff like that, because Stash Spaces ended up being how much they planned on charging for Arena. And I was like, okay, you know what? Server costs are a real thing. I can see where they make revenue off cheaters getting banned and coming back and buying the game. You know, Diablo 2 was well known for doing that. And I thought maybe, yeah, they got money from it, but they're like, well, we're releasing DLC. We'd rather just have cheaters not be part of the ecosystem because we don't need them financially. But now that I see this, it's like, I don't believe that anymore. I thought they had more of a long-term vision. I did not realize how short-sighted they were. Like, this is eye-opening. Nikita is incredibly short-sighted if he thought this was a good idea. I'm going to take myself off the screen again. If Nikita thought this was a good idea, that is the most short-sighted thing I've seen outside of Activision Blizzard, as far as some of the stuff that has happened with games and the way they try to charge for them these days. That could have been the biggest win. Release that to everybody that owns the game. You have the co-op. It could have been, you could have kept the co-op mode as a separate buy thing. So if you want to play with your friends, it's an extra $10 on top of the base game. Or you could have just bought the base game, played solo PvE, and done that. You know, whatever. Just, it's so disappointing. So disappointing. And this is my third wipe. And I have progressed the most in this wipe than I ever have. I've gotten my hideout built out. I've gotten level 3 traders. I was going to push for... I've had the Bitcoin farm. It's the first time I had that. I was going to push for level 4 traders. I was pushing my level. I'm at level 32. I was trying to push to level 40 before the end of the wipe. And I was trying to get maybe strength maxed out this wipe. I don't know. I was trying to push for it. I was doing things I've never done before, and it was really exciting to see all these changes come through. And the rest of the patches actually has some good changes behind it, but this, paywalling it off so that Edge of Darkness people don't have that, I can't. I'm done. I can't. And I don't know how long I'm going to give them. It's not going to be long. At most, I'm thinking like a couple weeks to a month. If they don't change their stance on this, I'm done. Like, if it's like 6 months down the road and like Gray Zone Warfare released or something, and then they turn around and go, oh, okay, yeah, Edge of Darkness people can have it, I'm gonna stop caring at that point. Like, that's too long. You know, you got like a couple weeks to a month for myself, and like I said, I'm not worried about other people. Everybody else has to make their own mind as far as where the line is for you. You have to make up your own mind of that. I'm just letting you know where my line is, and when I paid for something and you're not giving me what I paid for, I'm I'm not going to support your game by playing it. I'm not going to support your game by making content for it. I'm not doing any of this. Now, if you turn around, if you change stance and you give me what I paid for and I get this PvE mode in, like I said, a couple weeks to a month, something like that, all is forgiven. I have no problem with that. You made a mistake. If you admit your mistake and you fix it, I will forgive that because you will have made it right. I still won't agree with the Unheard of edition being $100 extra on top of everything else I've already paid for, but I can live with the rest of it if I get what I paid for initially in the Edge of Darkness edition, which is all DLC, and this is DLC. I don't care what any dev over there says, that's DLC. You can try to nitpick words, you can try to, like, you know, shuffle the word around to say, oh, it's technically not no, it's DLC. Stop playing games. No pun intended. Stop playing games. Give me what I paid for. That's all I got. Unless they change their stance on that, I have other Tarkov videos I was in the process of editing. That's at a full stop. I'm not releasing anymore. I was getting some views on these. And for me, if you look at my channel, that was kind of a big deal, but I'm not going to continue if this is how they're going to behave as a business and how they're going to treat me as a customer. This is not right, and I will not stand for it. This is a hard line for me. I'm done. If they change their stance, I will forgive it. If they make it right, I'll forgive it. I'm not going to give them forever to do that. Like I said, 6 months from now, if I'm playing Gray Zone Warfare, I'm done at that point. I stopped caring. But we'll see. I don't know where this is going to go. I do know that their Discord is on fire. People don't like this, and I don't blame them for it. I don't like it either. Everything else, like I said, everything else in the edition, I don't care. But the PvE mode, give me the DLC I was promised. Give me what I paid for. You give me that, I forgive. You don't, I'm done. By the way, again, I'll say this one more time. Don't attack anybody that continues to play the game. Everybody has their own line. Everybody has their own circumstances. Everybody has their own situations. We can't judge that. Everybody makes their own decisions on that. I'm just saying, for my part, for where I stand on this, I'm done. Thank you for joining. If you have been watching my Tarkov videos, if this is the last one you see, thank you for watching. I'll be making other videos. Tonight, I'm playing Helldivers 2. I'm probably playing with my friend again, and we're probably going to have a good time. I don't know when I'm going to be playing consistently for the time being. I do know that I was looking at Gray Zone Warfare, and I'm definitely looking at it. Like, before this whole debacle, I was going to be like, well, Gray Zone Warfare sounds good, but I don't know. Now it's like, oh, I can't wait. Now I can't wait. This is the biggest win for Gray Zone Warfare. Nikita just handed them. Like, it's they just committed the biggest unforced error ever with this decision. This is the biggest win for Gray Zone Warfare they could have hoped for. So Gray Zone Warfare, you should be thinking, I think they're thinking Nikita right now, because this is the biggest PR win for them, and they didn't have to do anything. Nikita, you messed up. Make it right. Make it right. Everybody that's been watching me, thank you for watching me. I appreciate your views so much. You have no idea what it means to me. Thank you so much. I will continue making content. It's not going to be on this unless they change their stance on the PvE mode. If they change their stance on that fairly quickly, I will continue making Tarkov content. I have no problem with that. Otherwise, the Tarkov's been fun, but I'm escaping for now. Thank you for joining me. Have a good one. See you later. Get out of here. Bye!